So we're talking to Thomas Leisure of President of LRI Graphics. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. This is great.
Well, thanks for giving us some time to talk some about LRI Graphics. So just tell us about the business, how long it's been there. I know it's a family-run organization, so that's pretty cool. How many generations? Just give us the background history on LRI Graphics, please.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be on the show, and just really appreciate you guys thinking of us. LRI Graphics started in 2016, beginning of 2016. So we're going into our fifth year as a company, and we grew out of a company called Laser Resources, which is where the LRI came from. Laser Resources was founded by my dad, Bob Laser, back in the early 90s. And it was a company that sold and serviced copy and print equipment. So they got started in Urbandale back in the early 90s, and really grew by selling, refurbishing old print equipment, and then just grew to represent more and more brands. Started with Xerox and then grew from that to represent Toshiba and Lexmark and all sorts of brands. And so I originally out of college came and started working for Laser Resources back in 2011. And we saw an opportunity as the business grew, where we had more and more customers, some bigger customers like the state of Iowa and Iowa State University and Drake and Principal Financial. They had these requests for large format graphics. And so originally, we started down the road of asking if they bought that type of print equipment. And the majority of those customers said no. They don't want to get into that. They don't want to buy that equipment. It takes up a big footprint. It's kind of a specialized market. And so they just outsourced that type of printing. So we started thinking that maybe we could be that provider. So we actually started a separate company called LRI Graphics and Signs back in 2016. And we needed someone to kind of head up that initiative, basically a startup company. And I raised my hand and said I'd be interested in doing that. So that's what I've been doing ever since 2016. So it is locally owned, family owned. So my dad, myself, my little brother Pete, and then my cousin Andy. So we've got 4 lasers that are involved in the ownership group. And then my uncle Jack still works with us as well in a sales role. So we've got 5 lasers running around here. So there's a lot of family involvement, and that makes it fun. But yeah, we've been doing this since 2016, and the other side, the Laser Resources side, is actually since sold to Xerox. They're still here, but it's a different ownership structure. So we're independent and on our own, and still in the startup phase for sure, but we've grown a lot in the past 5 years. And so today we help customers with graphic design, printing, and installation of large format graphics. And that can be anything from banners to vehicle wraps to billboards and wall coverings, interior signs, exterior signs. So there's a wide variety, and we work with a lot of creative people. So every day is something different.
Okay, so you kind of led me into my next question is talk to us about your target market. Who is your ideal client that your services and products work best for?
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of stuff business to business. We certainly do have products that apply to consumers, but to date, we've done a lot of stuff business to business. And I'd say our most common customers at the moment, we have a really good relationship with schools and educational organizations. We do a lot of stuff with K-12 schools throughout the state of Iowa, and even now into Minnesota. We do a lot of stuff with the small colleges and universities. We have great relationships and have done some fun stuff at Iowa and Iowa State and Drake. Some of our more notable projects to date have been at those institutions. At Iowa State, we wrapped the entire backside of the Jack Trice Stadium scoreboard on the north end of the stadium that faces the parking lots. When they renamed the field to Mid-American Energy Field, that was a giant project. And I'm an Iowa State guy, so that was a fun one for me personally. And then at Drake, we totally transformed the outside of the NAP Center with window graphics. So if you drive by there, all the windows on the exterior of the NAP Center facing Forest Avenue there are the big blue Bulldogs and Des Moines hometown team, and a really fun project there too, since we drive by that all the time. So we do a lot of stuff with educational groups. We've been growing in commercial real estate. So we do a lot of the site signs that you see around town when places are for sale or lease or selling. We print those, we install those across the state for a lot of different commercial real estate groups. And then we also are getting more and more into retail and franchisee operations. Two of our bigger customers, one is a nationwide physical therapy center that needs to transform physical therapy locations into their branding. So we'll print and ship graphics across the country from California to New York for these physical therapy locations. We manage the install as well with a nationwide network of installers. Then another one a little closer to home is Godfather's Pizza. We do a lot of stuff, all the stuff you see for their monthly specials and menu deals and current promotions for Godfather's Pizza, and all their locations comes out of our print shop too. So getting more and more into the franchisee model and being able to print and ship graphics across the country.
Okay, all right. So there's a good chance that some people that are watching today are involved in a family-run business. We hear a lot of horror stories out there. I've personally been involved and seen some. So what's the secret, do you think, to you guys being successful as a family-run business, and assuming everybody still talks and gets together at Thanksgiving and Christmas and birthdays and that kind of stuff?
Well, that's a secret. Separate holidays. Just never get together again outside of work. No. I feel very fortunate. I've really grown up in a family business. I mean, my dad, even when I was a little kid, owned LRI or Laser Resources. And then when I came out of college, I started working here too. So for me, it's pretty normal. But we've just got some good policies. I mean, we've got an open door policy. We've got great communication. You got to be able to talk through stuff that's frustrating. Certainly days are frustrating and not every week is the best. But we maintain open communication. We make sure that we're all on the same page. I think that's the biggest thing. And then nobody's got a huge ego. You know, that's another thing I just feel fortunate. We're a pretty low ego group. So if someone's got a different idea, a different way to do things, we bring that up and you know, that's vetted by the group, and we have good conversations around that. Beyond just family, we also have some close friends that work here too. So people that we see outside of work regardless. So, you know, same rules apply. You know, you just want to keep open communication. And then I think outside of work, we try to do a decent job of limiting work talk. You know, we get enough of that during the day. So I think that's important too, is when you're, you know, it's Saturday or at night, or you see someone at dinner or whatever, you know, you're talking about other stuff. So I think that creates a healthy balance. We've done a pretty good job of maintaining that.
Well, congratulations, because that's I know a lot of people have found that a real challenge. So
yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, and it's certainly not just me. I feel lucky that I've got some family and friends that they make it easier. So that's appreciated.
Oh, that's great. So let's talk about this crazy year that was 2020.
Yeah.
How did COVID? What kind of an impact did it have on your business? And then talk to us about some changes that you had to implement, or if you had to do some pivoting, or just how 2020 overall got into your business and implemented some things because of COVID-19 last year.
Yeah, absolutely. 2020, a year unlike any other, and obviously we don't know what 2021 holds. Hopefully, you know, more optimistic. But yeah, it was a challenge, and a challenge for everybody. You know, we weren't alone in that. I do feel fortunate that we were able to stay open. You know, I know there's a lot of people that you know were less fortunate than we were, and so I just feel lucky that we were able to come in every day. We have a smaller group here, and we've got a pretty large print shop, so we're pretty well spread out anyway. So we were able to keep coming into work, which I feel lucky too. Just provided a sense of normalcy to keep coming in here. Now we kind of locked the doors to any walk-ins or customers or anything like that. We created our own little bubble. And when we're not doing Zoom calls, we're wearing masks and stuff. So we've stayed healthy, which that's a blessing as well. But just coming in every day was a nice thing for us personally to to keep our normalcy. But business wise, yeah, it was definitely a challenging year, a slower year. A lot of our biggest customers, especially in the warmer months, are events. And those just didn't happen in 2020. So we do a ton of stuff every year for the Iowa Cubs, the Iowa State Fair. Ankeny has a really cool entertainment district that has like weekly concerts now. And we provide all those banners, on a weekly basis. And so a lot of that stuff that we count on every summer just didn't happen in 2020. And so we had to do we had to pivot a little bit. Like you said, we got into selling masks. So we can print and sell custom masks. That was popular. We got into some COVID related signage, businesses that wanted to stay open and needed the stay 6 feet apart floor decals and the banners and the still open banners and, COVID related stuff to help businesses stay open and stay socially distant. We did a lot of that. We did some of those acrylic shields, on the desktops, not just at businesses, but also at like dental offices and banks and places like that where, they wanted to see customers but wanted to be safe. So we had to learn a little bit how to create some of that stuff. But I feel fortunate. We got a creative team here and people that are problem solvers. And so while it was a slower year, we also learned some new skills and provided some new solutions. So just feel lucky that we were able to keep it open.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about your team. So how many people are on board there with you guys?
Yeah, that was the other interesting part of 2020. And again, a blessing. We actually grew our team in 2020. And I know, that wasn't the case for a lot of people. So we actually hired some people, which was exciting for us. We now have 17 people here at LRI Graphics. And so we added 4 members in 2020. We have a dedicated sales force. We got, I think, 5 full-time salespeople. We've got a production team. We've got a dedicated production team with a production manager. We've got a graphic design team with 2 dedicated full-time graphic designers. And then we have a 3M certified installer as well. So we like to differentiate ourselves as a one-stop shop. We don't have to farm out any part of the work. You can come to us with a blank slate, blank idea, blank wall, blank car, whatever it is, and we can design it here, we can print it here, and we can install it here, all right here in Grimes. So we feel very fortunate that way. That speeds up, the process from idea to reality. And it also saves a lot of money. We don't have to outsource anything. You don't have to travel anywhere. We don't have to hand it off to somebody else. So we've got a really talented team here and a good mix of young people willing to learn and then industry experience, that have been doing this, since they were painting signs. So we've got a good mix there.
Well, congratulations on getting through 2020 and still being able to grow your team. That's awesome. Any last words of wisdom? Any reason why people should bring their design needs to you or any of their sign needs to you that you want to give a pitch to?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, appreciate the good thoughts and certainly hope everybody watching this, better days ahead. But as we get out of this COVID stuff, I hope we can start hosting events out here again. One of the coolest things we can offer is a tour of our facility. We're right here in Grimes, just right off Highway 141. We face 141. We're right next door to that brand new Amazon building. And so we're in a really convenient location. And it's fun to see how some of these big things are made. We actually have the largest printer in Iowa sitting right here in our shop. We bring vehicles into our wrap bay. And you can watch our installers install them. So it's a pretty cool experience we can take people through. Obviously, right now is kind of a challenging time to do that, but we do have a virtual tour on our website, lrigraphics.com. You can scroll to the bottom of the page and see all of our videos. There's some fun time lapses of installs and stuff on there. But you can see the facility and see some of the printers in action, even digitally. But yeah, I would just ask that people, next time you've got a creative idea, big or small, you want to put decals on the back of your car or on your, laptops, or you want to wrap your wall or transform your conference room, or You got a fleet of vehicles that you want to dress up. We can do all that, all the way to exterior signs and video boards now. So there's a wide array of things we can help with, and we're right here in Grimes. So we'd be eager to help if we can.
Well, Thomas, thank you for your time. We've been talking to Thomas Leisure, with president of LRI Graphics. Tom, thank you very much, and hope you nothing but good things for 2021.
You bet. Thanks again for having me, and thanks for spotlighting small businesses. We appreciate it.
Thank you.